Support is growing for Vice President Kamala Harris this morning amid her endorsement from President Joe Biden to take over the ticket in November. He's expected to address the nation later this week after announcing that he is no longer seeking re-election. Our King 5 political analysts are weighing in on the president's decision.
Former Democratic governor of Washington State, Gary Locke, acknowledges the pressure the president was under to step down.
That was quite a sacrifice and quite a courageous act by President Biden to basically end his political career, to acknowledge that there were doubts about his capability to continue to lead for the next 4 years. And it takes a lot of guts, quite frankly, a lot of courage to say, wow, I'm going to step back.
And before the announcement, we were watching as a growing number of U.S. lawmakers started calling on the president to step aside. This bar graph created by NBC News shows just how much that number skyrocketed over the last week or so, with 35 lawmakers publicly asking for him to step aside.
Joining us now to talk about the implications of this announcement is former Republican Attorney General and King 5 political analyst Rob McKenna. Good to see you, Rob.
Thank you. Good morning.
So I want to ask you, how are Republicans reacting to this news, to not only President Biden making this unprecedented announcement, but also that he has endorsed Kamala Harris as the nominee?
I don't think there's any surprise that President Biden has endorsed the vice president. After all, he said when he picked her that he was confident she could become president if needed. So that's not too surprising. And also it helps hold some of the Democratic base together. Republicans, I think, in the Trump campaign saw this coming and had already started to pivot towards a campaign against Harris. But until they knew for sure, they hadn't really stepped on the gas where that was concerned. But they'll pivot very quickly now to a campaign focused on her, assuming that she actually becomes the nominee. And of course, we don't know yet if that will happen.
Right. And so, which leads to the question, what's going to happen to these delegates, right? The president has been going primary to primary, earning these delegates. He has some 4,000 already. They have to be released. They have to be earned by some candidate. What are the chances, you think, of Kamala Harris being that candidate in the end before the convention?
I think it's at least 50-50, maybe a little bit better. Her allies and her are already working the phones, calling delegates to urge them to support her now that President Biden is withdrawn. So she's in the pole position here. But you're also seeing a lot of Democrats say, well, let's have an open convention. Let's have what they're terming mini primaries. That includes people like former Speaker Nancy Pelosi. It's notable that former President Barack Obama has not endorsed Harris, but has instead said that he trusts there'll be a process to decide who the next nominee will be. So I think this will be one of the most interesting, 3-week periods in my lifetime when it comes to heading into a new convention.
Rob, what about campaign money? What is the impact on that? A lot of people have been donating over the last 24 hours to support Kamala Harris. Does she have an advantage when it comes to that?
Yeah, two things. One, it's very impressive how much money has poured into what is now the Kamala 2024 campaign just in the last 24 hours, a lot of money. Secondly, the money that had already been raised by the Biden-Harris ticket can be used by Harris, but not by any other Democratic candidate. So that gives her an advantage as well.
I have to ask Rob, too. I mean, we're living in such interesting times. I feel like the summer of 2024 is its own chapter of American history with everything we've experienced. Real quickly before you go, just your reaction to the history of all this.
I'm absolutely stunned. The events involving Trump, just last weekend, the events of this past weekend makes it the most amazing 10-day period in my political life. All of us who are political junkies are just absolutely glued to the news.
And still a lot of uncertainty to come, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens next.
We have your cell phone. Stay close. We're going to need you for this.
Will do.
Always great to talk to you, Rob. Thanks so much.